Hey, it's Fayd. First of all, sorry this Pike video is taking so long, and I actually have a good reason for that. One, I've got 6 maxed out Pikes. I've tried everything to make this work, okay? Mixed results. Next, Sony Vegas messed up. I'm totally new to editing, and for some reason, it decided that once I made the video, it would refuse to render it properly, and I tried a lot. I've made this video like 3 times, and yeah, so I'm hoping this is the one that will work. That's about it. Plus, just busy with school and crap. It's not like, you know, I have a lot of time to make these non-stop, so. Anyways, Pikes. Basic overview, they're a weapon that has a ranged special attack. They do wound damage, which inflicts the wound status on parts, which makes them take 50% more damage from other weapons and 25% more damage from pikes. Wound damage is red. It works just like part damage, as in it's unique to a specific part. And once it passes the wound threshold or whatever, once the wound health is reduced to 0, that part becomes wounded. If you want to know more about how that crap works, I made a damage video. You can go check that out. I'm not going to get into it now. So, as far as builds, this is, in my opinion, the only viable Pike build. Okay, and when I say viable, this is relative to Pikes. I'm pretty sure literally anything else could out DPS a Pike. But, here we go. Ideal circumstances, you're going to have exactly my setup, if not a bit higher as far as the cells go. But you want just +3 acidic. It's fine if you have like a +2 or maybe even a +1, but you want an acidic cell in here, just one, in your Pike, Ragetail Pike. Then you want energized. You want energized in your lantern. Then, if possible, you want at least +2 pacifier. And that's because +2 pacifier is a 20% bonus. Versus Enraged Behemoths, it's the same thing as Rage Hunter, and Aether Hunter is also the same thing right now. They're glitched. But Pacifier is 20%, whereas +2 Rage Hunter or Aether Hunter are only 10% total, 5 each, and then they go up to 10% each level. So it's Pacifier is more bang for your buck in the early stages. So if you can run like a +4 Pacifier, instead of I have 2 Aether Hunter here, if this was also a pacifier, that would be better, but I don't have another one that's +2. So other than that, I've got Rage Hunter in one piece because that gives me +6, and then I've got conditioning in my boots. The real important things to note here are that you need the Rage Hunter, the Aether Hunter, or the pacifier bonuses in these 3 parts. That's really necessary, okay? And the helmet and the chest piece are somewhat, like, you can switch these around, they just need to have a power slot. You can use other pieces, they just need a power slot. And then the legs, I run conditioning and Reza, because that gives you energized, which is good with pikes, blah blah blah. Next build. This is just for break part farming, okay? That's all it's for. It's gonna suck for everything else. And when I say it's for break part farming, I mean like it's marginally better. So this is basically like a Kara Pike. You can run a Deadeye Pike if you want. You can run a Reza Pike if you want. For this build, it doesn't matter nearly as much. For the other build, you want to run a neutral damage Pike for just higher DPS. But for this build, just basically whatever you want, because you're just going for wounds. It won't really matter that much. But I choose the Carbach Pike because it is neutral, more damage at the moment because of an unintended thing. I believe it's unintended. And then you just want to stack Blade Storm, Sharpened, Barbed, Savagery, all that as high as you can get it. And Acidic also. So Acidic just turns into a mini Sharpened when you have it upgraded. See, 15% part damage. It caps out at 50, which is a +3 acidic, but then you get part damage afterwards. And you know, just all this stuff, it's going to help you get breaks. That's basically what it's for. That's all it's for, actually. Take this into anything end game and you're going to be deeply regretting your decisions. So I'm gonna head into a hunt. Oh, what am I? Really? Interesting. I thought that was transmogged. Well, I've been feeling edgy recently, so no. Yes. Okay. Apologies. Now, yeah. So I'm going to demonstrate the attacks, etc., etc. And then I'm going to complain about the Pike for an extended period of time, which you guys don't have to put up with, which is why it's going to be at the end, and why I told you about it beforehand. So, yeah. Let me just make sure I've... I don't necessarily have a script, but I have things to help me remember other things. That's an amazing name. This guy really likes to look different. I mean, it's kind of cool, except the wrists are not really consistent with the rest of it. So, Pikes have two basic combos. Left clicks and right clicks, just like, you know, any other weapon. But they have a bit of a unique mechanic. It's called combo crossover. And it means that you can interchange left clicks and right clicks, but it still keeps their counters independent of each other for the combos until you finish one or the other. I don't know if that made sense. The game explains it better. It says where Pike attacks are interchangeable with a given combo. Reaching the end of either string causes the combo to end. So what that means is, let's say you do a 5 left click combo, and then you hold on the last hit. So 5, it's 4, and then you hold for the 5th, right? That's your left click combo. And here's your right click. It's just 3 right clicks. And these are kind of animation locky. All right. Well, if you want, you can actually get 7 attacks off before either of your combos finishes. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I can't finish my left click combo now. I did 4 left clicks and 3 right clicks. And you can do that in any order. You can do 2 right clicks and 4 left clicks before finishing any of your combos off. And that gives you some wiggle room. It's good to start with right clicks because they are more dangerous to use. Left clicks are much less dangerous. They're basically sword attacks, which means you can dodge out a lot faster. Let's say you right click once and see it starting to move for an attack. You can probably fit in a left click before you have to dodge. But if you threw in another right click, you would definitely take damage. So as far as the special and whatnot, basically if your meter is higher up, which is the thing in the upper left, you do more damage. And to build the meter effectively, you're going to want to do, if you're just hitting a couple times, right clicks build it better. And if you can get full combos off, their right clicks and left clicks are about equal. A full left click combo with a hold on the last one will build up pretty much a full meter. And right clicks, if you hit everything, will pretty much also build up a full meter. So once you have a meter built, doesn't matter how little, how much, whatever, you can press Q to load up a shot. And what that does is you hold Q down. After you've pressed it once, you get one of those blue things, like a rocket symbol in the upper left. It starts glowing. You can hold 3 at a time, plus your meter. So technically you shoot 4 in a row. And once you press Q to load up a shot, you can hold Q, and you want to let go when it's a laser beam, so it shoots accurately. If you shoot while it's all widened out and stuff, it's just going to go everywhere, which I can show real quick here. Notice I only hit one there and I was still able to load a shot. It's just not going to do much damage. But this is what happens if you overcharge or undercharge. See? Just doesn't give a shit. Alright. So now I'm going to actually fight the Shroud and... oh, right. You can boop with that Q. Okay, so yeah, that's the last thing. So now I'm going to fight the Shroud and complain for a minute. First of all, damage scaling with wound damage is the same as everything else in scaling right now. The more people there are, the harder it is to get wounds. Okay, just like the harder it is to break parts. Sounds logical, right? No, 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 no. Because pikes do less damage to wounded parts than other weapons do, they're not meant to be like a 3 in a party weapon. Diminishing returns are a thing with these. You're really not going to get much out of them if you have more than one. It's just how it is. Not going to change anytime soon as far as I know. Which means making it hard to get wounds with them in a party, and, you know, that's not good. Basically, one person in a solo is going to create 3 times the wounds that one person in a 4-man is going to make. Basically, 3 times faster wounding. Not great numbers for pikes. Especially considering that 4-mans are actually theoretically faster. Okay? Which means you're going to have less opportunities for any of that. Next thing, savagery is fucking garbage. Sadly, it's basically a requirement if you're running technique cells, which you need to be doing if you're trying to get the most wounds possible. The reason savagery is garbage is that pikes are best used... I don't know how that didn't hit me. They're best used wounding a part and then moving on to wound another part, so that your team, which does more damage to wounded parts than you do, unless you're running savagery, I suppose, so that your team can break those parts. The thing is, in an ideal situation, if you're in a pre-made and you know your pike user is going to be making wounds, you could run savagery and get more out of it than they could. Which is absurd. That, like, the fact that it's basically mandatory because there's nothing better for technique slots. Like, if you looked at my build, I had basically every technique slot that I could get. I'm at like 5.5.6.5 or 5.5.6.6 or something for like Blade Storm, Savagery, Acidic, and whatever the other one is. Barbed. So yeah, it's just bad. It's literally better on other weapons if you know that you're gonna have a pike user. Yeah, so not ideal gameplay. It does not encourage a min-maxed pike playstyle. Next thing is pikes just do lower damage than everything else does. Like, it's maybe comparable to like maybe chain blades or something, but it's close. I can't say for sure. So I think maybe chain blades might do more actually. Just how it is, and that sucks too. Because the fact is that if pikes are going to continue to be a wound-only weapon, that's all that they're useful for right now. Even if you're going DPS with a pike, that's all they're useful for. They're not going to have a place in the meta. Because a lot of farming is just, you go for 1 or 2 parts, you know? You don't need to get like 5 parts in one run, because you don't even know if you're going to need those other parts. I shouldn't do this, but I'm just doing it for fun. Oh, I missed anyway. I shouldn't do it because I would do more damage to it while it's enraged. But, yeah, I mean, in the current meta of the game, wounds just don't make a difference, to be honest, unless you're running some niche hammer build, like, you know, a hammer, acidic tail thing. If you wound a tail with a hammer, you can't break it. So if you're running savagery and acidic, then you just get the savagery bonus permanently and you can kill things quickly. Yeah, anyway, it just isn't a thing right now, and that's too bad. I wish if pikes could keep up with swords in DPS, it would not reduce the effectiveness of swords in any way, okay? Because swords do more damage to like tails and horns and things. So, and pikes create wounds. So they both have their own kind of niches in the break part game, right? But because pikes do absolutely no damage relative to swords, there's no reason to use the sword or the pikes. If pikes did the same damage as swords, there still wouldn't be a reason to have more than one pike, because they don't do as much damage to wounds. They don't do as much damage to tails and horns. They aren't going to break as many parts. But they do create wounds, so you'd want one. They do have a boop. That's good. But their boop isn't good enough just to bring for its own purpose. Like, swords can boop with left click, you know? Just about as reliably, to be honest. You just might trade damage more often. Yeah, that's really all I can say about it, anyway. And as you guys can see, this guy's got 2 wounds on him. This other pike user in here, I seriously doubt is using something constructive as far as cells are concerned. I'm pretty sure most of that damage is me. Trying not to sound, you know, super arrogant right now, but it's just a fact. Like, I've done this before in groups as the only pike user. This is about the rate that I get wounds at. So I'm pretty sure he hasn't done a whole lot, which is totally fine. Not complaining, I'm just saying this is about what you can expect from a single pike. So I hope it was helpful. As you can see, pikes do get wounds, it's just that wounds suck. And yeah, that's it. Peace out.